everyone, hey and welcome back to yet another episode of Battle Rap Resume. This is your host Tom Quee. We are going back, I guess you could call this a classic event review. I don't know if this is a classic event. It's certainly a very interesting event that deserves looking back on. This was Dizaster's costume party event. I don't know if you recall this event, dear listeners, where we had everything from Raphael versus Shredder to Jesus Christ versus Lucifer himself go down on this card. It was a huge variety of different personas here. So we're going to go through all the battles that were released on YouTube. Some of them, these battles, I don't think went down. Some of them went down. It's not clear, but we're going to try and make it clearer throughout this episode. And, it's not just myself, but it is one of my favorite guests, Battle Resume's beloved Jamaican correspondent. Yardman, how's it going, man?
Man, you know how it is. I always love being on, I always love being on this program. You know how it is, man. So I appreciate that.
Of course, man. And, you brought this idea to me. You wanted to cover this event. Like, what does this event mean to you?
I mean, it's kind of funny because, for anybody like me into gaming or anime or anything like that, it's funny because it kind of connects to something that happened in Jamaica a while back, where there was this thing that they used to call JA cosplayers, and they did this thing where, like, it was almost like it was our version of like E3 for like anime cosplayers in Jamaica, and it was just fascinating to go there and see people like really dedicate themselves to making a costume, and they're like, damn, like these people really went all out for this, so to see that kind of element brought to battle rap, it's just really dope. Yeah. It's really, really dope to actually see that happen. So it was very unique. And then, of course, shout out to my homie SOS, because I know the battle that he would probably be most fascinated with is, of course, the Raphael versus Shredder. And here's why it's funny. I remember when Rone battled Danny Myers, and he made the exact reference as to why he ended up becoming a Ninja Turtle in the battle. So he's like, you look like a 44-year-old Ninja Turtle. And everybody died. Everyone was floored. I remember I can't remember which King of the Dot event was it? Was it Back to the Basics? Yeah,
it was one of the, I think it was a Mad Flex battled Psychosis as well there.
Yeah, to crazy see how it was like foreshadowing, you know what I mean? Like, they call you a Ninja Turtle, and then here he is dressed as Raphael battling copyright. It was fun.
Yeah. And this event as a whole, I should say, was Dizaster organized. It's kind of like a house party sort of theme. It went down on October 30th in LA. And just before we get into these battles, please follow the show at Battle Resume. Get in touch with me if you want to come on the show, battleresume@gmail.com. Support us on the Patreon as well. One of the new things on the Patreon is a kind of dedicated RSS feed for people who support, so you get access to all the episodes on your phone, offline as well if you want to do that. So help support us there. Review on iTunes. But so many of these battles are intriguing, and I think a lot of them play up to what they are, and deliver a slightly different experience. Let's kick off with one of the more memorable ones, Yardman. You mentioned it just before, Raphael versus Shredder, which was Danny Myers versus Copyright.
Yeah. What actually impressed me was Copyright's aggression as Shredder. I just remember, like, he had this commanding performance, and on one hand it's like, this is supposed to be fun, but at the same time it still has that battle rap energy to it. I can't remember some of the lines that he used, but man, like, just to hear a lot of like Ninja Turtles puns and today I'm making turtle soup, to hear someone make reference to like those old nods to the lines that you would hear when you were watching the show, it's really dope to see that in battle rap form,
Mm-hmm. And let's paint a picture to a certain extent before we dig into the writing itself for all the events. So it's in this really quite fancy mansion, as we said before. There's quite a few people there, and everyone's dressed up in quite good costumes, I think. It's quite an interesting crowd to look at.
Yeah. I think that, like, what did I remember? I remember there was this dude that dressed like the late Paul Walker. then Lush was what, Tony Montana, and actually talking like him too.
Yeah,
like, like, come on, what the hell?
Dizaster is there, and
that's dope. Like, and that's the other thing to it. It has this element where it's not just you dressing like the character, but actually being in character. Is almost like method acting. You know what I mean? Like, everyone is just, okay, we're in this role. This is what we're doing. You know, it was almost like an agreement across the board. It's like, yeah, this is what we're all doing. Okay, go.
Are you, I mean, it gets referenced a lot in battle rap. I'm not personally myself. Are you a big Ninja Turtles fan?
That's why I've been, I mean, I would say that I grew up, you know, they call, all right, I had a conversation with some other battle rap dudes, and they said, yo, if you live in, like, if you're, like, born in, like, the late 80s or whatever, they call you, like, a young old head.
Okay.
You know? And, and it was so accurate, because I'm like, I'm not really old, but, you know, I'm a young old head. It kind of makes sense. You know, but, like, and, you know, my other homie, SOS, you know, I mean, you know, between that and Power Rangers, like, you know, we grew up on that kind of, you know, that and the Voltrons, the VR, which is why when Daylight did that line that he did against Charlie Clips, I'm just like, okay, the mere fact that you're like, that Power Range ripoff shit, VR Troopers, I'm like, okay, he wins. Like, I don't need to hear anything else. Like, he just won the battle just by doing that. So yeah, you know, like, that, you know, just coming from that era, you know, because, I mean, us in Jamaica, the closest thing we got to cable was, you know, watching these shows that would have, you know, repeat episodes and so on. So it was really fun to see that, you know. So, yeah, I could say that, you know, I had almost Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles everything. It was crazy.
Okay.
Finally, Shredder, I'm about to send you to a separate hell. He must be suicidal. He spent his whole life trying to catch a shell. But right now, I got an appointment to kill. But like my weapon side, I be on point with the steel. Steel. I rock steady. You'll be bought for that lame shit. I'll put your brain on your stomach with a crane kick. Same.
I'm amazed at the fact that you came into rap. Fuck aim and a gag. I'll leave you like Krang with his brain in his lap. Don't think you're gutter just because everything you ever learned came from a rap.
Danny Myers does kind of look like a Ninja Turtle, as Nitty said. He kind of does. I mean,
no, but that's why it's funny. That's why it's funny, because Rob Nissen said it, and like the moment he said it, I'm like, fam, he fucking does. Like, like at first you're like, you know what? It never occurred to you, and then Rob Nissen says it, and then you start looking at him, and all of a sudden you're like, all he needs to do is put a shell on his back, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the end of the argument. You know, and I just think that's why it was funny, you know. You know, and the fact that he played along with it and just rolled with it and just made it work, it was fire. And you know, Danny's very good at, you know, when he, you know, delves into, let's say he decides to focus on the Ninja Turtle lore, he'll go in.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
and
Lots of deep references,
It's very dope to see him do it. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where, like, I'm going to reference this when we talk about this battle, but when we talk about the Jesus versus Satan, like, I can just imagine like A-Ward and Lothar going like, "Get him, Jesus!" Like, I can only like, they need to watch that battle. So if they haven't seen it, they need to watch that battle. Yeah,
I like copyrighting this a lot. I think this was his debut battle-wise as Shredder, and I think he's the whole Krang brain in his lap. It's quite nice early on.
Yeah, that's fire.
In the first, and then just because he's green in the shell, don't got to be loud when smoked. It's pretty hard.
Yeah, like I said, like he was just very commanding, and you know, it's just like. And if that's his first, like, if it's his first, like, on, you know, YouTube battle or whatever, that's a good note to be on, you know. And then at the end, I think they played a track from, I think, a mixtape that he dropped, and that, I mean, It was fire to hear it. Like, you hear that beat and you hear how he's flowing over. It was fire to hear it.
And it's just interesting, isn't it? It's giving battlers an identity, you know, something to explore, original, but for their minds. Like, okay, this is kind of Copyright's debut, and Danny's just a kind of original thinker altogether. But we'll see throughout this card that something like this, I think they should do again in some sort of format. I quite like the theatre of it.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Because my friend SOS and I, we were talking about this because he and I actually want to do this thing where we're sort of trying to create like a hybrid between like gaming and battle rap in a sense. Okay. So it's like he wanted to like, and because we're friends and we're bridge, like we call each other brother. So it's like, I'm like, okay, so we're gonna treat this like, okay, fine, we're gonna be like, he's gonna be Ryu, I'm gonna be Ken, or like a Scorpion, Sub-Zero, or whatever, and we'd actually like, you know, have, you know, just present it in a way where it's actually really fun to sort of have a build up to the battle and then the actual battle, you know. So that's an idea that we definitely want to actually do, because what I imagine for it is that it would make the people that would not normally pay attention to battle rap, you know, actually get involved and be like, yo, this is actually dope. I didn't know people, you know, literally just went in on just gaming and just battle about that. You know, and then at the same time, have the battlers listen to it and be like, yo, this actually feels like a battle. You know, so those are the elements we want to bring to that. So, you know, hopefully we get that done in the future. So, yeah, so if SOS is listening, you know, let's get it done, man.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is listening, listening live as well. But, yeah, you know, the next battle on this card is one that I didn't realise went down here. I didn't know it was both of these guys. I love both of these guys. Bill Collector versus A-Class, or should I say Bruce Lee versus Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
No, I'll tell you, I love this battle, but at the same time, I felt bad for A-Class. I'm like, dog, he got destroyed, though. You know, no, he was good, but it's like Bill Collector just, he was performing, he was swagging. It was just like, this is how Bill Collector should battle every time. Like, this is how you should battle. Like, just be comfortable. Just be comfortable, and you will never have a problem. You know, I mean, I can't even remember every single bar that he dropped, but I remember just watching it going, okay, they're not going to stop his time because he's still entertaining them. So, unless somebody decides to be like, all right, time. You know, even then, he already won by then. Was it a one rounder or was it 3?
It was a one rounder. It was quite nice because they got crowd members who had costumes on to sort of introduce the battlers here, which gave it a good dimension. So you get Randy Marsh and Eazy-E in the front there. And yeah, Bill Collector rocking his shirt off. You know, Lush saying that Bruce Lee's from China, Japan. I mean, that's
so rude. I don't even know what to say about that. It's like, on one hand, it's ignorant, it's also racist, but it's also funny. Because I can just imagine, like, Asian people be like, there's no place in Japan called China. What's wrong with you? That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah. And, you know, Bill is first. He has the flow there that he always has, the sort of Jet Li, Bruce Lee. You know, all he brought was Asian jokes, is what he says early on.
Yeah.
You know, 8 played football because you spend 7 hours making it.
That's actually messed up. Like, that's really, like, because it's one of those sweatshop jokes that you're like, damn, like, you want to hate it, but you're like, damn, but it's so good. You know, like, it reminded me of that line that Kid Twist said. I think he said it to Dumbfounded, where he's like, you calling it a cat fight, that makes it really funny. You call it a cat fight because you saw it and you got hungry. I was like, damn, though. Damn. Like, you just straight call him, you know. And then, of course, if we get back to the Nod of Dizaster, he's like, also known as Hannibal Lecter at the animal shelter. I'm like, dog. like the fact that you connected that instantly, you know, like that's my favorite line used against Dumbfounded. Like that's my favorite line. Hannibal Lecter at the animal shelter. And of course, it's done in the stereotypical Dizaster voice.
Yeah,
you know, it's hilarious. I can't.
It's not as like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar centric of a round. You know, to be honest with you, his first. It's just more Asian jokes than anything else. But you know, nothing wrong with that. And then A-Class, I think, has some good lines. You know, but I agree. I think Bill Collector kind of styles out on him.
Yeah, I think what happened to I don't know. I think maybe one thing that I say about battling in general, and maybe like it's probably my own pride as a rapper myself.
Sure.
You know, the best thing to do is communicate at all times that listen, you're the shit regardless. Like, don't let anybody make you feel like, oh, because it's like there's something about his body language that you could kind of feel like, okay, wait, he doesn't feel all that confident in what he's saying. I don't know if you got that vibe, but that's something that you don't really ever want to exude once you're battling anybody, you know. And I could also relate that to relate that to Gemini versus Shock, but I can tell you what I think happened there. I think what happened was Gemini going first, and he went for so long that it's almost like, okay, somebody just wallow on you for like 12 whole minutes, like. By the time they're done, you're exhausted. You get me? Like I felt like that had an impact on his energy. Because when you watch that battle, and if you look at him versus Gemini, and you compare it to him versus Soul, you can see a completely different energy in the deliveries, if you understand what I mean. You know, so you know, that's the thing with me. Like, I just pick up on the energy and body language. And what, to me, like, even say, for instance, like, Villain versus Rivers. Yeah, this is another example. Like, Villain would look so much more convincing to me if it was, like, you know, louder and having that Yunnan. You know, you remember his battle with Yunnan where he was, like, screaming at him. Like,
oh, my God.
That's what, yeah, exactly. That's what if we're not seeing that, I don't want to see it. You know what I mean? Like, when you get, like, crazy, that's when, because it's more than just, you're writing and whatever. You want people to like feel, yo, this guy is not playing with him and he wants him dead, you know? So that's what I feel. And I feel like once you have that energy and you command, you say to them, listen, I don't care if you question, okay, you think I didn't write my own bars. I'm still going to bark on you to death throughout the whole match. You know, and let people forget that you even said it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's just my take when it comes to just, as they say, keep the same energy. Or as Hollow, the Don said to Tay-Rock, I want to see the same energy. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, going forward then on this card, 50 Cent versus Rick Ross didn't go down, unfortunately.
Oh, damn, that would have been fire, though.
A dead man was in costume. Like, you see him in the back of a few battles, so it's like, I don't know I'm not sure what happened there, unfortunately.
Yeah, that would have been fire, though. Damn. Like, yeah, that's a shame that didn't happen. That would have been fire. Because, you know, a lot of people have been talking about that for a while, and to actually see that in battle rap form, that would be fire. Yeah. That would definitely be fire. So, yeah.
Shame, definitely. And but Jesus Christ, yeah.
Wait, who would have been? Who's gonna be Rick Ross?
Marv Wong.
Oh shit! I'm so mad. Oh god damn it! I'm so mad. Can we have a rematch, like, please? No, I'm having a psychological breakdown right now. I can't. Marv Wong as Rick Ross. Like, there is nothing better than that. There isn't. There really isn't. Because I think, I recently rewatched Marv Wong and Quest versus Ilmac and Thesaurus.
Right.
And it's like when you just saw that kind of back and forth chemistry and just, it's like these guys didn't even refer to the fact that they were white. They were just calling them whack throughout the whole battle, and they could just do everything. They could literally say only filler and win the battle, and then give them bars and win, and then just use personality. Like, they had a mix of everything. So, you know, to see, and that's what I love about battle rap. It's just like when you can see these people coming from that era, you know, the Scribble Jams, the WRCs, coming from all of that, and to still be relevant today and be one of the dopest people ever, you know. Even though, you know, I do go on tangents, and it's going to happen a lot, right? But it just reminds me of what him and Quest did to Chess and Steams. They just annihilated them. Like, they made, it's just like, don't put any old 2-on-2 against them. They're going to lose. They're going to die. That's what's going to happen.
They're underrated 2-on-2, definitely.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Certainly. How did Jesus Christ versus Lucifer happen? I haven't actually seen this battle, unfortunately, so you're going to have to talk me through.
What's up, little homie? Where's all this fuckboy shit stopping? Since the beginning of time, you've never been popping. Truth is, I heard Eminem was battling Dizaster. I told my dad, I'm not missing this. Listen, Satan, I hope you're taking notes. I could walk on water or take a boat.
Okay, so Megadeth, like, he keeps doing this thing where he goes, all right, listen, Dark Lord in the house, shut up. You know,
right.
Like, he keeps, like, there are people in the background trying to distract him, but like, hey, Dark Lord in the house, shut up. You know, and he keeps, you know, saying, oh, you know, he calls Jesus a pussy and say, oh, you know, you've been running the world like crap for how many years, and, you know, just going on, you know, what else did he say? He said something to the effect of, he's like, oh yeah, your father was creepy as hell. He's like, you think he kicked me out? No, I decided to leave. You know, like he twisted the story in different ways and just kind of, you know, like almost like, yeah, there's his side of the story. Well, let me tell you mine. You know, and you know, he did some really, you know, interesting and funny things throughout round 1 and 2. When he got to his third round, I think he was like, he did like almost the repeat of what Joe and I did against Dizaster, where he's like, God damn, you're lucky I messed up this round. You know, because basically he was just admitting to everybody that he actually forgot the rest of his material and then tried to freestyle and whatnot. But I felt like Dirtbag Dan, as always, it's almost like, okay, now that he's going second, he's like, guess what, guys? It's time for me to Jesus swag on you. Right. Like, he said something to the effect of, yo, you ain't really down in the streets like that. He's like, yo, they got my face on all of their backs. I'm really in the hood like that. And I'm like, yo, for real, like, there are a lot of people with Jesus tattoos on their back. Like, that's gangster. You know what I'm saying? Like, for him to be able to make that reference, and he's like, yo, like, I think he made some other reference to Jesus pieces, and sure. But it's just the way that he does everything. There was this air of confidence and just like, almost like, who is this guy in front of me? You know, like he like, he's like, yo, it's like, I can walk on water or take a boat. You know, like, he's basically saying, I have choices, I have options. You would think, me, I can walk on water or take a boat. I can choose. I can either walk on water or take a cruise. Like, I know, I just made that last part up, but seriously, that would have been fire.
No. You're right.
So he just commanded this confidence, like, okay, why are you in front of me? Because I am literal. And what I thought happened in this battle is that he went for a shorter time, but his lines just, like, almost every single line connected. There were no dry spots or anything. So in terms of efficiency by performance, I can say that Dirtbag Dan got him. So, as I said, A-Ward, Loso, anybody else in the 4 horsemen, watch the battle. Jesus won. Jesus 3-0. 3-0.
Wow. We didn't get Dizaster versus Eminem, which was on the card.
Yeah. I actually saw somebody try to post it, and it was like 14 seconds. So I was like, yeah, there's no reason to watch that. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? Yeah, I actually saw that was supposed to go on. I don't know what happened.
No.
I don't know.
Would that ever happen in any world ever, or?
Yeah, I really do. I mean, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I mean, he got Cassidy and Cannabis. You know what I'm saying? So it's not out of it's not out of the ballpark for Dizaster, because I know people that actually really dislike they really dislike Dizaster, and I can understand, because he's really polarizing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you talk to him in person, you get a different vibe, and then later on you're there like, yo, you dissing me, like, what's going on? Like, I thought we were cool, But apart from that, like, the one thing I can never take away from Dizaster is that when it comes to the celebrity matchups, or the whole international aspect of battling, like he's when they talk like international battling, like talking about culture, like Dizaster is the guy to go to for that. I mean, examples of that is him versus HFK, one of my favorite battles. Really funny. In fact, that's an example of like almost a picture perfect Dizaster, just making fun of you and talking about your culture and having a full understanding of it is really dope. And then, of course, the other battle that he did was it was him against HFK. That's one of them. Oh, right, him versus Iron Solomon. And of course, let me just say this from now. Shout out to DME Detroit, because we're supposed to actually, be on opposite ends, where he's gonna say why Dizaster won, and I'm gonna say why Iron Solomon won. So I think that's gonna be fire. But like even just seeing Dizaster and Iron Solomon go back and forth about their respective cultures, and this, like like he said, like the Torah is the OG, the Quran is just fan fiction. I'm like, God damn it! You know what I mean? Like to belittle someone else's culture like that in a battle rap form is just like, that bar is fire. You know what I mean? So I mean, I understand where people are coming from in terms of, okay, fine, you don't like him as a person, but when it comes to him in terms of battle rap, in terms of exploring other cultures, going to other countries, and trying to learn their lingo, their norms and everything like that. So I don't remember. It was him. Where was he? Was he in Sweden when he battled Henry Bowers?
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Right, and then that line that killed me, that Henry Bowers said, he was like, "You getting 8 sideways like a retard dinner."
Yes.
That line floored me.
Huge.
That line floored me. It's like you saw it coming, but you didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Henry Bowers, man, so slept on, so good.
And you know what? This is another topic of mine, which is basically, it's a shame that the dopest battlers you think that no, if they were to jump back in the ring now, I think they would kill people. You know what I mean? Like, Tenchu. I know Tenchu has no interest in jumping back in, but Tenchu was fire. Tenchu was absolute fire. I remember seeing him and Lego versus Dizaster and Awkwards, and Dizaster and Awkwards were on their shit, and they still lost. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like I was watching it, and I'm there like, they just embarrassed them almost every round, and they still had their fair share of jokes too. So it was almost, I would liken it to a similar thing with like a Marlo and Shuffle T versus P Soldier and Maso, But the only difference is, I think that the Tenchu and Lego, it was a lot closer. It's just that, like, there's something about, and I've always said this. This is why, even though when I have to tell people, hey, watch this UK battle rap, watch this one. It's like I'm pulling teeth, getting people to watch UK battle rap, but it's okay. I'm cool. It's okay. I can watch it by myself. But you know what? When there's something about, I don't know. I feel like, I think the weather just makes I don't know what it is about what's going on over in England, but there's a darkness to the things that these people say. there's this, you hear them say something and you're like, what? I think I think Tenchu said something like, you know, when he cries, chicken grease drips from his eyes. I'm like, are you serious? Like, how do you think of that? How does that, you know? And then also, remember that line I mentioned about what Chronicles is the Peace Soldier, right? He was there like, you know, what was it? Your mom is a slug and a true hog. She gangbang with a cat and 2 frogs. Like, hold on. Like, what's going on over there? Why are you so dark? It doesn't make sense.
It's British, man. Like, that's who we are.
As Jamaican people, and you know, that's true because, you know, we got enslaved by the British, so we kind of have their darkness too.
Oh my God!
You know, so it's that heritage. We share it. Because I mean, it explains dialect. Because when you see dialect perform, and then all of a sudden he gets into this rage, you're like, holy shit, that's the Yardman in you. That's that Jamaican over there. Yeah. That's it.
yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Well,
yeah, man.
Pushing through to the next battle. Another big battle. This is Rone versus No Shame, or should I say this is Caitlyn Jenner versus Bruce Jenner.
So what the fuck are you supposed to be? A boy or chick? Have you sorted it? Is yours a clit or a dick? Well, either way, you're coming up short on some Vern Troyer shit because everyone knows I used to fuck O.J. Simpson's lawyer's bitch.
This was like, it was funny. It was funny, but very disturbing at the same time.
Right.
Like, it was like, you're there watching it and you're like, are you comfortable doing that, sir? Like, no, you sure you want to go with that? You know, but I mean, they did it, and I mean, I think I'd have to like rewatch it just to just capture what actually happened. Because I mean, to be honest with you, if they both make that matchup entertaining, you can't really say there's a winner or a loser because it's just too funny. You know, like, when would this ever happen? Like, what's he gonna do? Like, have an argument with himself in the mirror? You know, this is one of those, you know, what was it? Epic rap battles of history. Like,
yes, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
but in battle rap form.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, right.
It's definitely that.
And we get some nice views of the mansion in this battle. Lush is in here in full Al Pacino garb as ever. Deadman is there in the background. You can see an emu bird as well, just like a sort of disjointed bird head in the background as well. And I mean, a lot of the comments say this is a cringy battle. What do you think about this battle?
Well, I can understand why it's cringy. You remember what my comments were? It's just like, are you sure as a male you want to, you know, do that? You know, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it or anything like that. I'm just saying, just the concept of it would throw a lot of people off because you know how people are. It's like, you know, people are already on the fence when it comes to, wait, you're a girl, but now you're a guy or vice versa. Like, you know, people get weird about that. So I think that would be possibly the only real reason. But if you take the battle for what it is, in terms of humor, in terms of them going at each other, you know, in sort of a, hey, I'm actually talking to myself. You know, for what it is, it's actually really dope. You know, if you just ignore the fact that, okay, yeah, I get how you feel about him actually turning himself into a woman, but just ignore that and enjoy the battle. You know, because if you start thinking too much about real life, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know? Yeah. This isn't a real life battle.
Yeah, exactly, you know. Exactly. So just think of it like a Family Guy episode, even though, you know, that might be another trigger for some people. Like, God damn it, I hate Family Guy.
I mean, Rone says in the first, you know, great tits. Second off, great dick. You know, going in here, the elite level athlete, you know, the sort of picture of masculinity is how he plays it out there, and I think he does well. I think Rone is a great performer, especially comedically.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's like what? Was he the first person to do a compliments battle with him and Pac?
There were a few before that on King of the Dark.
Okay,
but he was one of the early ones,
I mean, I didn't know, but they made it look so damn natural. Like,
oh man, they were so good. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, do you know? Like, it's hard enough to come up with bars about making someone look smaller, but to actually do the reverse of that, to actually compliment somebody, and they're not whack while doing it. They're actually doing a great job, and it's just like, how are you doing that? You know, it's just how. You know, so I have to give credit where it's due. In fact, I think if I look back, the battle that Rone impressed me with the most, if I remember correctly, was him versus Awkward. That was a while back, but I remember thinking, all right, because I you know, sometimes you have a prediction. So in my mind, I'm like, there's no way Rone is going to beat Awkward. And then I go in and I watch it, and I'm like, damn, I'm wrong, and I like the upset every now and then. So hey, if I'm wrong, I was wrong about Arsenal Cortez. I thought Cortez was going to kill him. And then when I saw what Arsenal did, I'm like, damn. You know, I like being wrong sometimes. I like it. You know, it's like when you know that freak, you know, MMA fight that you're like, all right, this is the guy that I have to win. Boom, he gets knocked out. Okay, so I was wrong again.
Right.
You know, one of those.
And what do you think of No Shame in this battle?
Oh well, I mean, I think he did a good in terms of, you know, having that back and forth. You know, to actually come up with creative content where you do the self-referential, you know, jokes, and then also, you know, flip that against you know, yourself, your other self. You know, this is. I mean, this is basically, you know, a gender version of Ryu versus Evil Ryu. That's what this is.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like, you son of a bitch, you turned your back on me. Why? Why did you go over there and turn into a bitch? For real? Why? You know, like, I think that's the element of it that you should really, you know, take away from the battle. Just enjoy it for, you know, the satirical nature, you know?
Yes, yeah, I certainly agree with that, yeah. And it's fine as it goes ahead. It sort of says what it needs to say in the first round, but both of them go with it. No Shame, unfortunately, doesn't choke, but checking the phone quite often. And it's a good opportunity, you know, but I mean, it's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, that's never really a good sign, because, you know, it throws off the audience as well, because they want to see you do well. You know, they want to see you, you know, fully confident and everything. So when you're, you know, second guessing yourself, it kind of, you know, it kind of ruins the moment a little bit. So I can understand why, if that's what's going on, you know, it's different if you fake a choke, you know, or when you do what Iron Solomon did, where he's like, what? Oh, you thought I was forgetting my lines? No, I'm not you. And throws his sword into the crowd. Yeah, so that's you know, yeah. I completely get it.
I guess they wanted a lot of these videos to go viral, you know, because they've got that stamped all over, but none of them really did.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of that might have to do with the fact that maybe, I guess, possibly, I don't know, whichever league, you know, because you know how it is. Dizaster likes having his ideas and, you know, not necessarily wanting anybody else to take away the credit from him. You get what I mean?
Sure.
Because, you know, if we're going to talk about, let's say, you know, his beef with King of the Dot, you know, where, oh, you know, the oxymoron thing was his idea and blah, 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 all of those things that went on, I feel like something like that might have contributed to why it probably didn't have, you know, that sort of, you know, that explosion all over the internet. Because, hey, as popular as Dizaster is, you know, it'd still be cool to have, like, backing from another league. You know what I mean? Like, just to have that extra push to it. You get me? You know, so I don't know. That might have had something to do with it. But other than that, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, so I can only speculate.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, all in all, it's an intriguing clash. Definitely check it out. Not one of the best. There's some defeat bars towards the end, and I didn't realize that this was. I didn't realize.
I hate defeat bars. I hate defeat bars so much. I hate them. Like, I feel like if I battle someone and they say one defeat bar, I would literally go into like a state of hysteria where people would literally look at me like, okay, he actually isn't battling anymore. He's really pissed off. Like, I really hate defeat bars so much. I can't. Yeah, but yeah, sorry, I had to get that out.
And it was apparently filmed and edited by Liam Bagnall and Avocado.
Oh, really? This whole event?
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually cool. I mean, the two goats of the respective battle rap worlds, right?
Yeah.
Like they're the originals. They're the OGs. Like, what? I can't remember which battle it was. There was a battle where somebody set a bar and they had to pan out to the other camera so that they could allow Liam Bagnall to jump in the air and stomp and react along with the bar.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
that's how
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that, which battle was it? Was it? I think it was. Was it on the same card with Lunacy or Shay? I don't know. It might have been that card.
Was it Soul C Major? I'm not quite sure.
Yes.
Was it?
That's probably it.
Okay.
It's probably if it's not that, it might be, as I said, but it may very well be Lunacy. No, sorry, you know what I mean. C Major versus Soul, and you know what? Shit, that's a battle I think we need to talk about.
Oh man, what a battle!
I felt like no, because to be honest with you, there are moments where I'm watching C Major drop bars, and I'm like, are you guys really sleeping on this? Because I'm not from here, and that shit is fire. Why are you sleeping? That's not fair. You know, like, you know. But that's a dope battle. That's a very, very,
love that
very
battle.
dope battle.
Love that battle.
I mean, I think that's my favorite Soul performance ever. Like, like it's up there. I think that's my favorite. You know, you got two eyes that you can't see and two S's you can't see. Like what? That,
the way he does it as well, the way he crosses his eyes and tilts his head. Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, I could literally hate Soul, but I could never hate that battle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could be like, you know, I don't like Soul as a battle, but that battle right there, yeah, you know. So that, I mean, that's one of the things. Again, going back to why I love battle rap. You know, you might have people that you're like, you're not so keen on them, but if you see that battle where they're like, okay, you changed my mind with this one battle, sir. You have impressed me with this battle, sir, and if you battle like this forever, I'll be your fan forever. That's just how it goes, you know. Yeah, that I can't forget that experience because it was, you know what? So it just had everything. It was electrifying. You know, it wasn't just two guys going at each other. Like the crowd was, there. Everyone was invested. Everyone was waiting to see, yo, what's this guy gonna do next? Can he top that? You know what I mean? Like, it's just dope to see that. You know.
Yeah, man. And the top event of the card, I think, went down in some capacity. This was the Clan member versus Malcolm X, Caddy, RIP versus Daylight. I think Caddy got pelted by paintballs or something. Something like that.
Well, say that again.
I think that, Cadillac Ron got sprayed by paintballs, I think.
Oh, okay, that's weird.
I think so. I mean, people comment below, let me know what happened. But I don't think this actually went down.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I think I heard maybe, I think I saw a video that said something about, it was uploaded about 2 years ago, and I think it was him on Angry Fan saying that, you know, he got set up at the Halloween concept battle that he was supposed to have with Daylight, and maybe that might be a reference to that, the whole, you know, him getting, you know, spray painted or whatever. I don't know. But, you know, like I said, it's a shame when there are some battles that should have gone down and then they don't, you know. So that I hate when that happens, you know, when we miss out on a battle that could have been, you know, because, I mean, Daylight is already theatrical on his own, you know. on his own, he's theatrical. So I can only imagine giving him a costume battle to do. It's just crazy.
Are there any?
You know, the only thing left for him to do is go up there dressed as Morpheus. That's all he needs to do, right?
Yeah. Seems
like,
logical.
I don't know what else he could do.
That brings us to the end of the card as a whole, as it were. Definitely check out these battles if you haven't before. They are, intriguing little artifacts. Definitely fun to discuss. And if you're into the backstories of the people they play, there's lots of just sort of clever writing references. I think especially with the Raphael and Shredder, the Danny Myers and Copyright battle. What's your favourite battle on this card, Yardman?
It would be a toss-up between the Jesus versus Satan. That and the Copyright, of course, Shredder versus Raphael. Because you know what? That battle has the appeal of course, if you're an 80s baby, you're going to love that battle. You just are. You're gonna love that battle. And just seeing their take on it, to see how they can incorporate what they know about, the show itself, and that with the elements of battle rap, and not having it be corny or fall flat. It actually delivers. You know what I mean? Where Danny performs as he always does. As I remember the first, I don't know if it's the first podcast I did with you or the second, where I said, when Danny is in a battle, he looks like if he swings on you, you're gonna die. He just has that energy where you're like, please do not swing on me, because I might get knocked out. All right? So just keep your hands to yourself, because you're a little bit hype right now.
Could you think of any other battles you'd like to see in this format? Any other battlers dressed as some costumes?
Man.
It's hard on the spot. I know we should have thought of these beforehand.
No. Hey, I'm coming up with some. Maybe Lara Croft versus
Metroid?
Drake from Uncharted.
Yeah.
No, Drake from Uncharted.
Okay, yeah.
Because they both have that. Yeah, you get what I mean?
Ponytail adventurer,
yeah. An idea. Yeah, exactly. They both have that. Hey, we both hang off cliffs. Who does it better? You know what I mean? It has that. Shit.
Okay, people comment below.
Maybe, hold on.
Okay, any more you got, please?
Freaking Jetsons.
What was that, sorry?
Versus Jetsons. Flintstones versus Jetsons.
Oh, okay, yeah, nice.
Like the Hanna-Barbera. Yeah. Silverhawks versus Thundercats.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. That needs to happen. A Silverhawks versus Thundercats. But those are like teams, but it's still dope.
Yeah.
And maybe Power Rangers versus VR Troopers.
Or maybe Obama versus Trump or something.
That would be fire. Yes.
Like
that would be fire. That one right there.
But I guess a lot of those epic rap battles of history have probably done a lot of these, so you can sort of copy those, I suppose.
Yeah. But I mean, there are also others that maybe if we haven't thought of them before, you could definitely throw those in. Some of it could be gaming, some of it could be anime, some of it could be just anything. Just think of any rivalry that exists. Like a Mario versus Bowser.
Yeah.
Like I keep taking your princess, and you think that she gets kidnapped. Wrong. She comes to my house willingly. I can just imagine that Barbie used and Mario just standing there like this bitch.
Yeah. I mean, hitting the block for coin, pipe, Yoshi. There's so much you can do with that.
Yeah,
so let us know in the comments as well if you guys can think of any sort of fantasy matchups, and for bonus points, who would play them as well. That'll be interesting to see what people come up with. But as ever, man, this has been this has been a pleasure. Going through this event. I suppose, how do people get at you? Like, what's your socials, man?
Let's see. Well, right now the easiest thing would be just for YouTube. It would be youtube.com/c/ or you could just say / Bossman WilderMEZ. the boss, you spell it with a capital B, and then of course you spell boss man. And then the WilderMEZ, capital WILDER, and then MEZ is in all caps. So that's the easiest way to find me. And there's also my SoundCloud, which is soundcloud.com/WilderMEZ or Instagram.com/WilderMEZ. So those are the easiest ways to find me. Yeah, those three for sure.
Okay, great. Well, everyone check out these battles. I think the Virus was the name of the event itself, Dizaster's House Party. Go through the ones we've spoken about. There's a few interviews around on battlerapresume as well. So there's there's a little bit of content available. It's an interesting event, all in all. Definitely intriguing. I'm happy that it went down, as with a lot of these kind of mysterious little things. And Yardman, as ever, bro, it's such a pleasure to have you on the show. You know I'm a huge fan of your channel as well. I was so sad that so much of it got taken down.
Yeah. I mean, I was really mad when it happened, because I had them all for different purposes. My Yardman was the battle rap center, you know what I mean? Like, that's where it was. I didn't know everything just has to kind of be under my boss man title. So, whether you call me Yardman or boss man, I'm okay with it. I'm okay, But, I still got content, and what's fun now is that I'm actually, trying to be a man of my word. I want to do a lot more talks about grime clashes, because I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about them. So I want to do a little bit more of that, because I have done some about WAW. So there's some of that's on my channel.
We've spoken about that on past episodes.
On the minor league episode that we did. We did that with the WAW and Duppy and Leave. I'm gonna. And then you know what? Before I go, the episode with ARP and Rone, those are my favorites now.
Oh man, yeah.
Those are my favorites now.
I knew you'd love that ARP one, man. I knew you'd love it.
Yeah, man. No, you don't even listen. And again, I mean, ARP can attest to this. Every time I see him on Instagram, I always mention him, or on Twitter, so he knows. And every time I always get that salute, homie, and I'm like, yep. I appreciate that. I appreciate that response, sir. But yeah, there was something that he said that was just, I just can't remember what it was. But you know what? I actually recently did a reaction to one of the videos that he did about Goods and Gyms, the whole situation that went down. And he was so hilarious. Like, he was there like, hey, Gyms. No, it wasn't Gyms. He's like, Goods. I got a lot of respect for you, but dude, your microwave was just pissing me off. I'm like, really? like ARP was just being petty. Like, he's there like, yo, your microwave is just pissing me off. Like, why is it there? And like he starts going in, on, dude, like, get rid of the microwave. I hate seeing your kitchen. I don't like it. Just get rid of it. And then he goes off on Gyms and says, hey, dude, where are you recording this? This looks like the backdrop to a horror movie. Like, we don't know where you are. I'm hearing sounds in the background of the cries of lost souls. And what's crazy about this is he says this with a straight face. So that's what makes the whole thing funny. You know what I mean? Well, yeah, those episodes are really, really dope. I need to go back and listen to the rest of the one with Rone. I don't remember if I listened to the rest of that one. But you know what? On another note, Dizaster's ducking Rone. He needs to stop. He needs to battle Rone.
Yes, like, needs to go fucking down.
He needs to battle Rone. He needs to. And then you know what? On another note, Big Cannon called out Rone, and I'm like, I don't know, bro. You might get killed.
Ooh, that'll be a good battle, man. I love that battle.
It would be good, but I feel like Rone would win though, because like if he goes in with something other than freestyling, he'll have a chance of putting on a really good show. And what's really slept on is him versus Dundee. I think him versus Dundee was fire. I think it's a classic to me.
Classic?
Like, cause I feel, to me, because I felt like, I enjoyed it so much. And I think the crowd kind of messed it up, to be honest with you. Because I don't know what it was. Like, remember that's the same night that, I think they were doing the Oxymoron battle. I don't know if it happened 2 days before or a day before. And then this was the night where they had the Head Eye versus Cortez. So that crowd at this event was trash.
Okay.
Like that, you know what I mean? So it's like, the battle could have been better if the crowd was, you know what I mean? You know, that to me was kind of what messed up a lot of these battles on that card. So, but other than that, I enjoyed the battle, you know, because what was it? Even Vega versus Nun. That was a dope battle too. But again, like the crowd, man, the crowd killed me. The crowd killed me, man. They did. They really did. But yeah, I'm sorry for holding up your time.
No. I agree. So I always say that on the show that I don't like the King of the Dot crowd. Some person commented recently, like, do you really mean that? It's like, yeah, I actually do. Like, no, I'm not trying to be spiteful. Like,
no, I'll tell you. Back in the day, it wasn't like that, though. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like that. Like, I remember when my favorite King of the Dot battle, Cortez versus Holohan, like, that crowd was live. You know, or Pat Stay versus Mark 1. That was a live crowd as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? So if we could get that feel back into, because I mean, a lot of people say, "Yo, we need the bunker again," because the bunker was fire. Like the bunker, you had that very, you know, the people who wanted to be there really wanted to be a part of that performance. So I don't know. Hopefully we can get, you know, crowds to be back into that thing, and then finally show to the whole Premier Battle thing, because after it was fire, and I heard there are a lot of upstate. Like, when I heard that Villain beat Bobby Rex, I was like, what? Villain beat Bobby Rex. I never expected that. And then, of course, Joker started beating Code J. That's another upstate. You know what I mean? So, this is so you know that they're not playing around. You know, they're not playing. People are losing, and I don't know. I'm looking forward to the next card. I actually screenshotted it earlier, so... You know, I can't remember the battles off the top of my head, but one that I'm looking forward to is Unanimous versus Rivers.
Rivers, yeah.
That's going to be fire. That's going to be fire. That's going to be fire. Like, Yunan is, you know, like, if he, like, there was a battle that I just remember I recently had to get around to it because it had a line that really got to me. He's like, when I flip him upside down, it's when I say he's wet behind the ears, it's because I flipped him upside down and dropped this fruit on his head like Isaac Newton. I was like, God damn! No, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's my favorite bar from Yunnan ever. That's my favorite bar from Yunnan. And you know, if he brings that energy, and of course, Rivers is the kind of guy. He's just, you know, gift of the gab. You know what I mean? Gift of the gab. This guy, he's charismatic, he's funny, and he can punch. You know what I mean? So he's dangerous. You know, I even made a video about it called Rivers is Fire, ironically.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, because I remember saying it in a sentence. I'm like, wait, Rivers is Fire? Then I'm like, okay, come on, ironically.
Yeah.
You know? And then, if, who else? Oh, Templar Surfer Kid. Shout out to him. Like, I saw his battle against Hulk, and that was fire. Like he did this thing where he's like, when I give you this knife, it's like that. Beep, I was like, dog, did you really? Like, his performance is just like, you know, again, you know, I like people that are very energetic and lively performers. So once you have that performance capacity, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? So shout out to them, man, there. Shout out to them, man, there. For real.
All right, man. Well, again, it's been a pleasure, bro, to have you on. As always, I want to urge people to check out our fan cast that we did initially, where we just went through how you got into battle rap. Then we did, as you say, top 10, sort of slightly more slept on minor leagues in battle rap outside the top 5 or 6, you know, the obvious ones. That was a really good chat as well. You know, thank you to everyone for listening as well on the live stream, otherwise downloading. Check us out on Patreon if you want to support. Leave a review on iTunes, please. Greatly appreciated. Whatever you want to say, good or bad, I will read it. I take the criticism well. Subscribe, comment, check out all the Yardman stuff. But this has been great, man. Thank you again.
Yo, thank you again. And yeah, looking forward to the rest of 2018 in battle rap everywhere, UK, and even in JA too. We're coming up, man. We're coming up.